UiPath is a company that went public recently under the ticker symbol PAT, and at first I passed this off as just another overhyped IPO where the valuation just made no sense. And well, it seems like the market has generally agreed with me here, with the stock down over 40% off its highs in just a few months of trading publicly. And I hadn't looked into this company again until one of my subscribers, Scott, who always leaves insightful comments down below, guys, so always check out his comments. He brought the stock back to my attention, and I figured, okay, I'll spend some time looking into this, because Scott generally has some pretty good insights on stocks. So then, of course, I had to ask myself the question, with the stock down 40%, is it presenting us an opportunity here to buy a business that could be kind of the next Salesforce, the next ServiceNow, one of these massive enterprise companies in the future? Is that a possibility here for UiPath? In my opinion, and this is from me not owning any stake in UiPath today, I think it's possible. So now in this video, the plan is to walk through UiPath as a business, kind of help you understand what UiPath is, what the value is for this company, kind of the trends that it's riding here over the long term, which is very exciting. And then we'll look at the stock, the valuation, figure out if this company makes sense at current prices and what the potential upside could be over the long term. So guys, if you appreciate this kind of research, this kind of in-depth information on businesses, let me know in the comments down below. I plan to make these sort of videos for a bunch more stocks. I had a poll recently here. You guys voted Teladoc, so that's going to be one that's coming soon. But I also do want to cover a lot more stocks on the channel where I just provide you a whole bunch of information so you can make more informed decisions with your investment. And if you appreciate that, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell as well so you know when I release new videos. Okay, so the first thing to start off with, I think it's important, is understanding what UiPath is, what they do, and what the value they provide is. In a nutshell, they are a SaaS business that makes software robots so people don't have to be robots. That's kind of their mission statement. What this means is that their software robots can learn and emulate people, making people a lot more efficient because the repetitive and mundane tasks can be handled by these robots that they create. And to do this, they use a combination of AI, machine learning, and computer vision, and this closely replicates what a human would typically do for these repetitive tasks. Now this whole thing here, this whole process is known as RPA, a term you're gonna hear pretty often, and that stands for Robotics Process Automation. So I think this is pretty cool, right? Like you watch movies, you see these things, you look at the future, or you think of the future, and you say, yeah, a lot of things are going to be automated. There's going to be robots doing a lot of stuff. I think that's something that we just have accepted and we know it's coming. And UiPath, interestingly enough, is a business that's already doing that today. Now I know, I'm going to put this up front, there's going to be a lot of pushback here in the comments on, hey, this is going to remove a lot of jobs, this is going to hurt the economy, all that kind of stuff. And I think that in the end, the idea is to become more efficient, which will, produce more money for businesses, and as investors, will actually reward us much more. Now, UiPath here shows us an example of an insurance company. You can see by adding robots, the company was able to process 5 times more claims, and a 4-person team with 4 robots was able to operate as efficiently as a team of 20. That is huge value added to a customer, and that is why UiPath is such a sticky product. If you're a business and you're able to keep a small amount of employees but still have a massive efficiency, I think it's worth investing in the tools that UiPath offers, especially if you're a smaller business wanting to compete with larger companies. So I think that what UiPath actually does is kind of help level the playing field for small businesses to actually kind of operate like they're much larger, so they're able to compete with these massive behemoths out there like Microsoft or Amazon or Facebook or whoever. These small companies typically don't stand a chance, to be honest, but with tools like UiPath offers, it helps them to get a little bit more edge over their competition. This, I think, in turn will help not only the companies thrive with smaller businesses becoming more serious threats to these larger companies, but it'll also help consumers because it helps drive down costs, it helps drive more competition, and overall is great for the economy. And the market that these guys are playing in will be huge in the future. They're growing to over a possible 60 billion plus TAM. Now, based on an independent study, many companies are going to focus the next 2 years on adopting things like process automation, which is where UiPath shines. And over time, I think process automation is just going to become another norm for businesses, just like how, instant messaging or Zoom calling or whatever is normal now, or CRMs is normal now. I think process automation is just going to be another segment of a business that's just seen as normal, and UiPath is positioned to take advantage of that. So, I mean, big market, big opportunity, but this also means big competition. We can see here that UiPath is indeed a leader in the space, but they have another company, Automation Anywhere, that is a close second here. And then you have another company, Blue Prism, which I believe is in the process of being bought and taken over, which is another common third place option for customers. Other behemoths like Microsoft are also seen fighting for a piece of this pie. But in my opinion, I think this is okay. This is still a very young market. It's one that's supposed to grow massively. So it's fine to have a few competitors in this space. And with UiPath being kind of the leader in the space, it adds a lot more value to the brand and to this business. That being said, their competitor, the main one here, Automation Anywhere, is planning to go public very soon. And last year, this company was valued at like $6.8 billion. Now, we don't know yet what the IPO here will be for Automation Anywhere when they do go public soon. You know, I'm guessing anywhere between 20-25 billion, that's probably where it's gonna land. And if we just compare this to what UiPath IPO'd at recently, it was around 31 billion. It doesn't seem all that unrealistic. But that being said, you know, UiPath was valued much richer when they IPO'd, but they have seen a huge correction recently. So let's look at what their value is today. As of recording, they're sitting at around a $26 billion market cap, which to me seems very interesting right now. But guys, let's dig in a little bit deeper here. Let's try to understand if we're actually seeing some value here with UiPath and if this is worth kind of a flyer on. So their metrics actually look very strong. They have $726 million in annual recurring revenue, ARR. They're growing at 60% year over year. They have over 1,200 customers that are spending over 100,000 with them every year, with 118 of those customers spending over $1 million per year. And this just shows a very, very strong customer base. And then kind of the cherry on top, the best metric from this business is their high class net retention rate of 144%. Net retention rate, if you're not familiar, is essentially the term used for once you get a customer, how much more do they spend every single year incrementally with you? The higher the percentage, the better. 100% means that they just keep spending the same amount. 120% means they spend 20% more. In this case, 144% means that the customers that they acquire spend 44% more on the business every single year. And that is huge, and that tells me that even if, you know, they don't acquire any more customers, the business can still grow rapidly. Essentially how this works, they start with a single department here and, you know, they have a use case. The customer then sees the value in those robots for that use case and they then expand to another department or some more departments. Then they eventually go to a full platform, and then eventually the goal is to get that customer on full enterprise automation, and that's the ideal customer goal for UiPath. So I think this 144% net retention could get even better over time, could surpass 150% because there's massive, massive growth potential once they acquire a customer. Now, another huge advantage of UiPath is that they're kind of platform independent. Doesn't matter if you're an on-premise, a hybrid, cloud, doesn't matter. UiPath has an offering for you. This is important because it means that they can sell to literally any company out there. It increases their TAM, it increases the opportunity, and it makes it a very compelling investment. Now, they also have a strong growing community that they support, which does show the commitment that they have to the growing RPA industry as a whole. So guys, the story is there, the execution so far is there, and the value that this company provides their customers, I think, is pretty clear by now based on that net retention rate. Now, for revenue, you can see that they're guiding for a very strong growth going forward, continuing their momentum, which is a positive sign for investors. Couple this with their profitability metrics, and we can see the improvement in margins as we progress with potential for profitability soon. Analysts are predicting profitability very soon for this company, which may or may not be break even next year, but this will get clarified on future earnings reports. I'm sure this is something that Wall Street is going to be paying close attention to on their next conference call. Another huge milestone is that this company is expected to surpass $1 billion in revenue very soon, which again, huge milestone for an enterprise SaaS company. So now to come up with a valuation of this company and figure out if it's, worth a buy here today, it's a little tough because their closest competitor is still private and we don't really know their financials yet. So what I did was I kind of compiled a quick list here of some of the hottest SaaS businesses out there that kind of cater primarily to enterprise, and just kind of looked at their metrics to see where the market is valuing these companies in general today. Here we can see that Path is one of the smaller players right now for market cap and revenue, but it does give them the most attractive price to sales on the list. They are expected to grow in line with other high growth SaaS. They have amongst the best gross margins out there across all of these businesses. And arguably the most important metric, net retention, is extremely strong here for UiPath. It only follows Snowflake and it's ahead of some other well-known high quality businesses. Now some may look at a forward price to sales of like 22 and say this is way too expensive. And you're not wrong. I typically tend to stick to companies that are around a 10 or even lower than a 10 price of sales, even if they're high growth. But to me, when you look at these other companies in the space, these other high growth, high quality SaaS enterprise businesses, it's clear the market is willing to pay a good premium for these companies. So as an individual investor, I have to be willing to pay a premium if I want to own UiPath. If you have a business that has extremely high growth, strong fundamentals, and a huge net retention rate, which again is one of the most important metrics Wall Street looks at, I think a 22 PE may not be so bad here. The main question I gotta ask myself is, can they make a profit? Can that high growth continue? And can they maintain those high net retention rates? In my opinion, the net retention rate I think will stay the same or increase over time as they expand within businesses, so no concern there. High growth, I think that will come naturally as well as the company expands, so no concern there. The only concern I think would be the profitability, but UiPath is in growth mode, they're in spending mode. So I think over time that will come. It may not come as quickly as Wall Street may expect, but over time, I don't think that's an issue either. If and when this company guides for profitability or turns fully profitable for a year, Wall Street will probably want to flood into this stock because every other metric here looks phenomenal. They're in a massive growing secular trend. It checks off all the boxes. It's just that it's not profitable today, so there's a lot of doubt here, especially for a new business to the public markets. So at this time, like I said, I don't own UiPath stock. As of recording this video, that may change by the time it's uploaded, depending on when I upload it, but I am very interested in buying this stock here and building a position over time. I really like enterprise plays, I really like SaaS plays, and I realize, you got to give these companies time to mature, time to grow, and over time, like I said, this could be something like the next Salesforce, this could be something like the next ServiceNow, this could be a $100 billion plus business in the future because it has the trends, it has the right management in my opinion, and it has the right metrics to just keep growing. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments, are you a fan of UiPath? Are you considering this company? Do you own this business? I know that Cathie Wood is a huge proponent of this company. She has this as one of her largest positions. So it's clear that there are some investors out there that see the value, but Wall Street as a whole is still kind of unsure about this, and that may be our best opportunity right now. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. If you did, hit the like, subscribe as I said below, and hopefully we'll get an even better entry point in UiPath soon, where we can either add to our position or start a new position and enjoy those gains over the long term. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively. I'll see you in the next one.